Hey, howdy, hey, what is going on, you guys? It is your boy Pyrotoad here with once again another video. So basically, in today's video, we're going to be answering some of y'all's best questions. So I did a post on my Instagram, like I usually do, asking for you guys to ask me some questions because we haven't done a Q&A in quite a while. And it is nice for every once in a while for you guys to learn a little bit more about me and how I got my start with all these animals. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into today's video. Now, before we start answering y'all's questions, I do want to talk to you about a few things. Now, I know I've been trying to do 2 videos a week when it comes to uploading YouTube videos, which always isn't possible for me in my schedule, but I do greatly appreciate y'all's support, and if I ever have a time that I'm not able to upload, you guys are always like, oh, it's okay, we'll see you in the next one, so I really do appreciate that. And I'm going to continue my absolute hardest, and I'm going to continue to try as best as I can to upload twice a week. It's just so difficult with everything else I've got going on in my more personal life. So I just kind of want to let you guys know if there's a time that I only upload once a week, or if I have to skip a whole week, then it's for a good reason. It's not because I'm being lazy and just skipping a video. It's because either I got busy with something else that honestly was more important than making a YouTube video, or vice versa. But I am trying my absolute hardest to get 2 videos out a week. Some of the other videos, like the second video of the week or whatever, may be shorter than the first video, just because it's a lot harder to film a 14-minute video, especially twice, than it is to film a 8-minute video once or twice. But without further ado, let's start answering some questions. Now, the first question comes from UltraCaden121, and he asks, what are your oldest reptiles and amphibians? Now, that's a really great question, to be honest, but some of our oldest amphibians definitely got to be our Sonoran desert toads right here. I've had these 2 girls for about 3.5 years on my own, if not longer actually, but when I got them, they were already a pretty decent size, so they're probably anywhere from 5 to 7 years old. Yeah, you heard me right, 5 to 7 years old. For example, I've had Gucci for about 3 years or so. When I got her, she was a lot younger, a lot smaller. She was actually about that big, so that puts her at about 4 years, maybe 5 at most. But our 2 female Sonoran desert toads were already around this size when I got them, and I've had them obviously for over 3 years. Now, I already know who our oldest reptile is, because let me tell you, this reptile that I'm going to show you guys here in a second is very, very old. Now, as for our oldest reptile, it's going to be this big boy, Bo. Now, he is a ball python, a huge ball python, as you can see, and he is actually around 14 years old. Yes, you heard me right. This big guy right here is around 14 years old. But being that he's a ball python, he's still got plenty of time with us in his old age right here. And this dude's an absolute sweetheart. And a lot of you guys don't even know I have him, to be quite honest. What are you doing, buddy? What are you doing? But yeah, to answer your question, this is our oldest reptile at 14 years old. And then our Sonoran desert toads in this cage right here are about 5 to 7 years old. Next up, Zach is asking, why did you name your YouTube channel Pyrotoad? Well, Zach, first of all, that's a great question, and it's got a little bit of a story behind it. First thing is, of course, a lot of you guys know I like fireworks. And every once in a while, whenever the season is around, I'll do firework related videos. So there's the pyro part, and then of course I love frogs and toads, I love reptiles and amphibians, so I just decided toads, Pyrotoad, and there you go. But yeah, I love fireworks, I love learning about pyrotechnics, and honestly, like anything explosive. That sounds so wrong in this era. Anyhow, I love anything. I love learning about explosives and pyrotechnics and things like that. So of course there's your pyro, as I said, and then of course toad, because toads are my favorite animal. I love frogs and toads. Of course we got Gucci, who's a giant cane toad. So there you go, Pyrotoad. That's how I got my channel's name, basically. Zach also asked, any breeding plans for the future? That is another fantastic question. And yes, I have lots of different breeding plans for the future regarding my tortoises and turtles, and regarding my frogs and toads and other animals. First of all, here sometime this summer, I plan on turning this area into some sort of tortoise/turtle area. I'm not too sure yet, and I'm still getting everything planned out, but that's something that I have planned for the future. Then if we head back inside, I'll show you what I have going on inside the reptile room. So here in the reptile room, I do have a lot of breeding plans and ideas going on. First of all, I've got some crested gecko eggs that are actually incubating as we speak, plus some leopard gecko eggs that'll be hatching any day now. So as of now, I've got leopard gecko and crested gecko eggs that are incubating / getting ready to hatch. Plus, I plan on breeding sulcata tortoises and other different animals. But I don't want to say too much about it till I know it's going to happen for sure, because I don't want to tease you guys or get y'all hyped up for nothing. Whoa, blows, don't, oh my gosh, don't fall, buddy. Okay, I got him. Homie is like wrapping around my leg. Y'all see that? What are you doing, buddy? What are you doing, home skillet? Go. You're gonna fall. Oh, I caught you. Go. Go. Don't fall now. Be good. Just be good, okay? Chill out, homie. So you want to see all the turtles? Sure. So first out here we have Scales, our red-eared slider. This dude is doing fantastic. Then we have Precious, our painted turtle. Once again, another turtle that is doing fantastic. Then we have Jar Jar, our Texas softshell turtle. Once again, doing fantastic. There you go, buddy. Go free. Then over here we have our big boy Gamera, who is a mean sweetheart snapping turtle that is massive. This guy is huge. Look at that big boy. What are you doing, buddy? What are you doing? What are you doing, huh? Whoa. So that's Gamera. Let's move on. Then we have one of two of our adult red-eared sliders. This dude's actually really dirty because he's in that hole. The other one, I'm not quite sure where he's at, just because it's a huge outdoor setup and they go in the holes. But we have two that look just like this. Now that's all the turtles I personally own as of now. We also have a whole bunch of Russian tortoises, sulcatas, all sorts of different tortoises out in this pen area. And if y'all have kept up to date with my recent videos and the videos on my channel, y'all know we have a ton of tortoises in this giant 20-foot pen. Matter of fact, you can see one over there, one right there, one here, one there, 3 it looks like over here, and a bunch more in hiding. Have I ever seen a Texas tortoise? Honestly, I can't say that I have. Now, I've seen pictures, but I've never seen one in person as far as I'm concerned. That looks like a redfoot tortoise. What? Alright, well, I need to buy me one of these because these things are adorable. But regardless, now I have seen a Texas tortoise. Just images though, never one in person. Next question says, what do you do with your reptiles and amphibians when I'm away? Well, actually Maverick takes care of them for me. He'll do all the work. He'll spray them down, feed them, everything like that. I'm just kidding. This dog is as dumb as a doorknob. He doesn't know anything. No, the real person who takes care of my animals is actually my mom here. She goes through and basically feed, waters, everything like that with all the animals in this reptile room. So thank you, Mom. I love you. Thank you.
When do I get paid? Oh wait, I don't.
But yeah, so basically my mom will actually just take care of all my animals. And yes, sometimes I do give her money, so don't go hating on me, guys. What reptile are you most scared of? That's a good question. Honestly, I'd have to say these guys right here. Western diamondback rattlesnakes, I've seen pictures of the people who've gotten bites from them, and it is kind of scary. Now, to be honest, I'm not truly scared of any reptile, but I do have fear for some of these animals. Of course, any venomous snake I fear, any large lizard I fear, any large snake I fear, but it's the same thing as any other animal. I'm not scared of them. I wouldn't mind being around that animal, going and holding it if I know how to. I wouldn't mind any of that. It's just the fear and the respect that I have for that animal out of the potential dangers it can carry. But Western diamondback rattlesnakes, when I was younger, kind of gave me some nightmares and whatnot, just because I was afraid, what if I open my door and I get bit and I have to get my foot cut off or my skin cut open? I had little nightmares like that. But honestly, I do want to own a Western diamondback rattlesnake sometime in the future. So basically, as I said, I'm not really scared of any reptile or amphibian or anything like that, as much as I just fear and respect that animal for its venom, for its potency, and for its dangers that it can carry. And the next question is, what made you get into reptiles? Now, that is a fantastic question, to say the least. Now, the first answer I have for that question is back when I was younger, we took a couple trips to Florida. Now, Florida is honestly a really cool state. It's right up there with Texas. But of course, Florida has a lot of wildlife, a lot of different reptiles, amphibians, birds, mammals, all sorts of different animals like that. And when I went down to Florida, I got to visit the Everglades and a few other reptile related areas, and I thought that was absolutely fascinating, and I thought it was one of the coolest things to see, honestly. And then when I was younger, about 8 or 9 I believe, my dad actually found a toad in our yard, and I was fascinated with this little toad, and I was addicted to holding it, and then I have to release it. Well, over time, some of those toads started disappearing from our yard, and then we started to move out. So I was like, well, our new house may not have toads. So shortly before moving out of our old house, I ended up buying a pair of toads. Well, it wasn't a pair, it was actually 2 boys. Well, it was a pair, but it wasn't a breeding pair of American toads. I'll try to pop a picture up right here if I still have one. And their names were Timothy and Toby. I absolutely loved those dudes. They were some of my favorite toads. And of course, over time, I started getting more animals and more animals and more animals. And now we're here. And now for the last question of today's video, is what is the average amount of hours you spend on your animals daily? Now that's a great question, let me tell you that. Now of course, owning a reptile room this size with this many different animals throughout it can take a lot of work and a lot of time. Fortunately for me, I've invested a lot of money making a large majority of the enclosures in my reptile room bioactive. And of course, being that they're bioactive, I don't have to do nearly the same amount of work that I would if they weren't. And since they're bioactive, a lot of them are self-maintaining, self-cleaning, etc. But regardless of having tons of bioactive setups, there's still a lot of work that has to be done with these animals. And I'd say I spend about an hour to 2 hours a day on these animals. 2 hours would be max, but usually about an hour or so. And honestly, some of the most time-consuming parts of tending to these animals is changing out their water bowls, because they make a filthy mess in their water bowls very quickly. Then spraying all these cages down is another huge thing. I'm actually working on getting some sort of misting system that I can run all the way across the reptile room, but that'll be a huge project, and that'll come sometime in the future. And I spend a lot of the time with the animals that I'm selling, because I want you guys to get high-quality, healthy animals. And of course, I've got tortoises for sale, cane toads, Pac-Man frogs, crested geckos, all sorts of different animals. And so I gotta make sure that they're healthy and happy when they get to you guys. But with that being said, that was basically today's Q&A video. Now I have a question for you guys. What should I film next? Where should I go to film? What animal video should I film here in the reptile room? Things like that. I want you guys to tell me right now, like you guys, like you right here, tell me, what should we film for the next video? After you guys have given me some video ideas and suggestions, make sure to follow my Instagram, TheRealPyrotoadYT. It's always linked in the description, and you should really go check out my Instagram if you want to be a part of the polls that I do on it. For example, I asked you guys to send me questions, but I only asked on my Instagram this time, so might as well go check out my Instagram. It's literally free. After you've done that, make sure to subscribe. We're on the road to 3,000 subscribers or something like that, so we are continuously growing. And I'm probably going to do a reptile room tour at 3,000 subscribers, which will be an absolute banger video, so y'all better get me to 3,000 subscribers. Just saying. Just saying. And with all that being said, once again, let me know what kind of videos y'all want to see down in the comments below, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace!